we've seen a decline from 84 cents down into the mid to lower 60s cent range, below 63 cents. Since the summer, prices have come back and been bouncing around between 65 and 67, 68. So that's kind of where we are. Somewhat of the reason for the recovery is that the funds, sold all they could and didn't dare sell anymore, because here at harvest time we still have some questions about the size of the U.S. crop, how much USDA might trim their projections of production, which is basically focused on how much they'll trim out of Texas. Because while we did germinate quite a bit of cotton, a lot of it is small and young, and it needs a good maturation, sunny, dry weather all during September and October, and it may not get that. We've had some rains in the last week or two, which have cooled the temperatures down. The rains don't really help the crop at this point, but cool temperatures are definitely bad. So people are waiting to see how the crop matures out and what the harvest situation is for the northwestern part of the state. So that's really the big area of focus on our markets is this domestic crop. Now, stepping out and looking at the entire world supply situation, we're also wondering, Australia is going to be short because of the drought situation, but India, we thought was in a drought situation with a weak monsoon, but that seems to have corrected itself, and they seem to have planted a whole lot more cotton because of the dryness they began with. So all eyes are on India, wondering, well, are they going to have a normal crop, or are they going to have a surplus situation? And that'll certainly, depending on how that variable plays out, that'll either weigh on prices or support prices a little bit. And then the other big lingering supply question is how much cotton China has brought into the situation from the past. They had a government program of accumulating bales beginning in 2011. They did it for 3 years. They accumulated over 40 million bales of cotton in a government reserve, and that's just sitting there. And so the big fear is that they would cut back on their imports and use some of that stockpile. They have been using more of that stockpile. The question is, how much do they need to import still to blend higher quality new crop cotton with the cotton that they have in reserve? And we're just sort of waiting to see, because we really don't know. We'll have to see that as it plays out and what the imports into China are. That situation has been with us for a couple of years now, and we've been very, very cautious, knowing that they had enough bales, 40 million bales. They wouldn't, if they just used it, they wouldn't have to import anything. If they dumped it, they could crash prices, but we can't see how it's to their advantage to crash the market like that. So they're sitting there holding this thing. It's like they're holding a keg of dynamite, and we're all wondering what's going to happen. What we think is going to probably happen is that they'll just whittle away at that government reserve, use a little bit less than they otherwise would have, and we'll have prices kind of trading in this range that we have now, in the 60 and 70 cent range for the futures market, which means that growers will be seeing cash prices in the upper 50s to middle 60s. We're working on an estimate of a 6-point-something million bale crop. That's up 2 million bales over the previous year. 13 was yet another drought-affected year. So it's a better year, but what we have and how much we have is still kind of a big question. And so it could affect the markets in that if we have an oversupply, if we have enough bales coming out, it's even 6 million bales worth, but if 4 million bales of it is weathered and lower quality, it may get discounted a whole lot more, because unfortunately I think we'll have quite a big supply of marginal grade cotton in the world, and the stuff that'll really be in demand will be higher quality cotton that avoids the weathering one way or the other. So we just have to see. There's still a lot of questions as to what the price impact will be of the crop that's yet